My work is easy because I use ClickUp.
Just bear with me, guys. Just bear with me. Okay. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to switch off the video as it's giving me errors right now. Let's close this out. Let's clean this up. Okay. Yeah. So guys, the reason that I went live today is because we've all noticed General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi speaking and exposing the political syndicates, talking about how they are all involved in certain criminal activities and how they are involved in making a lot of dockets disappear from the investigations that they are doing. Okay, let me get to. So apparently, a lot of dockets have went missing due to political syndicates being involved with the criminals that they are investigating. So Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi revealed that a lot of these political syndicates are working with drug cartels, they are working with mafias, and dockets have started to go missing and they can't continue with further investigations. So he exposed Senzo Mkhunu and he exposed Shadrack Sibia for their criminal doings. That's not all. He also exposed that they are working with a lot of courts. They are working with prosecutors, and that alone should raise awareness. Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi have mentioned that his contract is ending this year, and he hasn't mentioned that his contract is going to be renewed or anything like that, which makes me think that he has no choice but to step down. So what I'm going to say right now is that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is going to step down as soon as as his contract ends. He's not going to sign up to be the DC. He's not going to sign up for the post to become the minister. Senzo Mchunu as the minister has been put on leave until further investigations, but he is not under investigation. Instead, the cases that he was responsible for keeping hidden, they are the cases that are being investigated right now. A new minister has been appointed, an acting minister has been appointed, and there's still a lot to come. So the reason I'm going live right now, we've heard a lot of people who are backing up Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the fans, the civilians, and now I think it's time for us to hear the opinions of one of our most influential people. Not one of them, but let me say at least two of our most influential people in the country. So first we're going to listen to what AKA had to say about the comments of Mkhwanazi. He also mentioned a few things about AKA which are related to the case of AKA being shot. So we're going to react to that, and we're also going to listen to a guest. Yeah, we're also going to listen to one of our guests. So yeah, let's get it going.
When I saw General Mkhwanazi come before the nation, right, and be like, there's a criminal syndicate that is influencing government, and then your album comes and it's like talking about the exact same thing but from a completely different angle.
Rich or poor, druggy or not, typical criminal or not, we all the same. As soon as you get out of that gate,
Yeah.
we are equal, regardless of the fact that you are in a Bentley truck and someone else is waiting for a taxi. If they are able to brutally terminate one of my idols and there are no consequences, then what would happen to me as a Tepo in Deep Kloof?
Sure. Fam, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, Pace Cartels, and then K.O. Cash time Tsotsi for life. Songwriter. Welcome back to Etel, and make sure you...
No consequences, then what? If they are able to me as a Tepo in Deep Kloof.
Sure. Fam, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, Pace Car Rental. Use promo code SMWX for 10% off your next car rental, and make sure you show Pace some love as they're showing this channel some love. Now, let's get into the episode. Spread the fire. Welcome back to SMWX, and today I am extremely excited and honored to be joined by legendary rapper, songwriter, producer, and entertainment entrepreneur, none other than K.O. Cash time Tsotsi for life.
That's good, my guy.
Brother, thank you so much for joining us on SMWX.
Thank you for having me on your platform, man. Very informative from what I've been watching and what I've been seeing. Thanks, from man. You, and also just a 360 moment, sitting side by side with you with everything that we spoke about off the record.
Yeah. No, it's great to have you here, brother. We started in the hip hop game at a similar time. You went on to become one of the country's most iconic artists, and I just host a podcast. But hey, the levels to this life thing.
I think don't even downplay the fact that I think probably looking back when you guys were doing your thing as a group, in some way I think we didn't even notice Keenan as a consumer. I remembered your face the most out of the bunch, and obviously
Tune in, guys,
you clearly sort of kind of just, even with you deciding to go a different path, but I think being part of that fold,
Sure.
Keenan being able to shape himself
Absolutely.
within that
Yeah.
entity is the reason why he also became who he became. So in some way, shape or form, as much as you might want to like be humble, you played a role in probably just putting the battery on that man's back.
Yeah.
RIP to my dog.
Absolutely. RIP to him. And I want to get into your connection with him as well.
Yes, sir.
But let's start with Parasiti, because this is a very important album. It's new, but I predict it's going to be one that we come back to for many years to come, because it's so layered. And what I love is that you're also speaking about social issues,
Sir.
not necessarily in a direct, obvious way, but the more you listen to the album, the more you realize actually you're doing a lot of social commentary there. Let's start with Parasiti, the word para, and how you're recreating and remaking that word.
Yeah. I mean, the album was actually created with the sole purpose of not being a chew 'em up, spit 'em up type of product, because unfortunately the music space right now, and with our attention deficit and whatnot, we can't really live with songs better yet an album
So true.
for too long. We're gonna play that the first week when it comes out.
Yeah.
Someone else puts out something next week, you sort of kind of forget about the previous one. So, and I wanted to create something that was almost gonna be like a time capsule that captures this moment in time in SA culture, history, trajectory, politically, and just current affairs and things like that. So I wanted this to be a musical Kodak picture, if I may put it that way, and that's why all those nuances, things that you find in this body of work, are things that I sort of kind of wanted to create an album that is not only just going to be a bunch of nice songs, but the messaging, the points of conversation, that it's meant to spark. But also at the same time, I didn't want to be too preachy. I needed to present it in a manner that the average Joe can relate. So whether you end up getting too caught up in the sonics rather than what is actually being communicated, that's on you. And I'm hoping thinking minds, the ones that are going to encounter this album, are the ones that are going to unpack certain things and peel all the different layers.
Definitely.
For people to actually understand the album on a higher level than just, oh, this song is nice, I like Supernova, I like, you know what I mean? I hope people can get to that level. And then as far as the album title, I was basically going for, obviously, looking at the state of affairs in our country. Yes, cool. A para is someone who is, unfortunately, I mean, if we're talking about like some of the social outcasts, those people that you find on the streets, whether they are homeless or they are substance abusers or, they got caught up in the criminal element, but they end up just being titled as that.
Yeah.
But to me, just thinking about this country and actually just the world as a whole, I don't think just because by way of your social class that solely, actually, if you are outside of that social parameter and you are in a Range Rover or in a Rolls Royce, the fact that you actually also might be someone who partakes in the very things
Absolutely.
that these individuals who are at the bottom of the food chain are partaking in. You are a corrupt individual. You do white collared crime. You are part of a criminal cartel, or you tend to bend the law towards your own, self advancement. I don't think there's a lot of, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of parallels between that community and those individuals who are called para. So that is why, to me, I was like, if you really think about it, everyone, especially the ones who end up doing unflattering things, rich or poor, druggy or not, criminal, typical criminal or not, we're all the same.
Yeah, man. There's an interesting line that just shows the kind of social commentary. I can't remember it exactly, but it's like, I think you're talking about Joburg, and you're saying, "Don't come here with your jewelry." There are killer bees around here, and you'll get swarmed.
Yes, sir.
So you're talking also about how, like, to navigate through this space, you've got to know where to go, because this country can be dangerous at times. There's crime, but then there's also a lot of wealth at the same time, and that's just the country we live in at the moment.
I feel like my whole idea with the intro specifically, I was playing a tour guide.
Sure.
Essentially, right? And yet again, Para City is not necessarily talking about Joburg.
Sure.
It's just talking about the country and on a broader scope of things, just the world that we live in now. You know what I mean? Whether you want to talk what's playing out in Israel against Iran, or the whole Gaza thing, and what's going on in the States, and damn near what you're seeing playing out with Trump and Elon and whatnot, that's, to me, what I think the title is just basically trying to encapsulate. And yeah, I think just more than anything, I'm just trying to make all of us, in my way, I'm just trying to make us aware of our surrounding and the environment that we are subjected to. Whether you are raising a kid today, or whether you have guests coming from different societies to trying to navigate your habitat, you almost kind of want to be frank as well, to say, hey, but don't walk around this block at this time of the night, because unflattering things happen. As much as we sit here and and parade our patriotism, and which is a beautiful thing.
Sure.
But we also need to be comfortable enough to say we are a flawed society.
So true, man.
Even in the beauty of what we have to offer to the world.
Yeah. And it's that beauty mixed with the scary that characterizes our society, And I was thinking, as I was listening through, how this album comes at a moment where we are currently confronting so much of what you're talking about, that there is this idea of para in government, in crime. When I saw General Mkhwanazi come before the nation, right, and be like, there's a criminal syndicate that is influencing government, And then your album comes and it's like talking about the exact same thing, but from a completely different angle.
The thing about like music is an anointment, right? And sometimes, well, a lot of the times as artists, we downplay our voices.
So true.
And the gift, because in essence, you are a conduit, a vessel, or a portal through which certain things can be transmitted. And by depriving your own greatness and depriving the ears that receive your music of those things, why? Solely because you just want to be one-dimensional and focus on the fact that you can make people dance, or communicating low vibrational things only.
Sure.
I think is a disservice to the very fiber of what our society is supposed to be, because not everyone is into dancing. We actually, like, even currently, people are dealing with a lot, bro.
Yeah.
People are dealing with a lot. As much as I want to make a tune that's gonna like trend on TikTok and do all kinds of things, and you know, people have a dance challenge to it.
Yeah.
Bro, some people don't actually give a F about none of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's bills to pay. There's kids. Some people can't pay their bonds and all those kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, they need to be motivated in a certain way.
Yeah.
They need something that is therapeutic for their personal journeys. And if we are constantly gonna be just one-dimensional and be tone deaf, not being able to read the room,
Yeah.
you know, and actually cater to the different emotions and mentalities and different levels of mental health that the world is currently subjected to, I think we are limiting ourselves, and we are actually stifling just the development of the community at large. Because personally, I didn't go to a private school, right? I got my education straight out of, you know, the guts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did my whole matric and everything else. But, and no disrespect, my teachers were not the greatest.
Sure.
You know, even just if we're talking just on just English level, not the greatest. Hip hop became my teacher. I got to work on my diction and work on my vocabulary, learn about certain things because of hip hop.
Sure.
I wasn't taught about Marcus Garvey in school. But maybe by listening to Wu-Tang Clan or listening to KRS-One and all these people.
And then you go and
I'm
find,
like, okay,
what's that?
who is that?
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe one of my uncles, who is probably like, you know, a historian, will shed some light. And then I got, okay, and then boom, there's now books that I can go buy and read more and read up on those individuals. So I say that all that to say, today, that is literally what the society actually needs. Not only from music, but also from people who have voices, whether you are a TikToker or a YouTuber or whatever. People need places to go to for them not only to be entertained, but also just to be informed and educated and elevated. And for them to actually be provoked mentally to go out and say, wait, so he used this. What does that word mean? Boom, quick Google search. Oh, okay, cool. When I go do my presentation in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna throw that in there. You know what I mean? Now it's part of my diction. It's part of my, you know what I mean? So I think that is what is missing in today's society. And I'm not only talking South Africa, I'm talking especially with hip hop as a whole. Even overseas. I mean, cool, we can put out the low vibrational stuff, but some of these guys are highly educated. They are extremely smart. But because they're like, hey, that doesn't sell. I won't go on tour with this fiber of my music. Let me focus mostly on the low vibrational stuff. And it's pretty sad.
I mean, what is your reflection on the state of our country, and what provoked you to want to commentate in this moment on where we are?
Just waking up every day, and here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, one has worked hard enough in the space that it has afforded me a certain lifestyle. It has afforded me the opportunity to be a resident in a certain community. And with all those things said, you find yourself actually, because now you're living in a society that is almost kind of well shielded from the real life that is going on out there. Like, think about it. If you are in an estate, stay in city or wherever, right? And actually, okay, cool. Forget an estate. Think about your house. Whether it's a townhouse, you have Wi-Fi, you have, decor that you saw on Pinterest, and you were able to go out and buy those things from Choreographed or wherever the hell, right?
Sure.
And you saw these shoes that you want. You saw the phone that you wanted. And then you have all those things in the house. So as soon as you enter that door, life is beautiful. As soon as you enter your household where you have all those things that you aspire or that you desire, life is beautiful. And it's easy for you to actually live in a bubble.
Yeah.
Because you have Wi-Fi, you have everything else, right? Everything is dope. You got your SMIG appliances. So for you to post content, you are just able to do that in the comfort of your own home because you have all the amenities, right? And then in some way, shape or form, because while you're doing that, naturally the people that you follow or your social, what your feed looks like, you follow people that do the things that you do or higher.
Yeah.
So mentally, this perimeter is being built around you. Say, hey, life is great. And then morning comes. You have to go to work. Boom. You get out of that gate. Damn. Someone might break into my house. I need to make sure all the doors are locked. Let me actually check if my car is still there. All right, cool. The car is there. Boom. You leave the yard. Potholes. The traffic lights are not working. You almost got into a car accident because a taxi just cut you off. By the time you get to work, now you're late because of all those things.
Someone comes up to your window asking for just some coins.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is just a day-to-day routine, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Whether you live in Stain City or not, as soon as you get out of that gate,
Yeah. Yeah.
we are equal, regardless of the fact that you are in a Bentley truck and someone else is waiting for a taxi. So all these things are unfortunately a byproduct of, if we're being frank, poor leadership. Right? Because it trickles down and it affects every social class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So without dragging it too much,
No,
that is where I'm pulling from.
Yeah.
And this is, that's why I feel like this is an album that almost kind of speaks the South African, the ordinary South African's language. And it embodies the day-to-day element of every one of us.
What I love about what you do as well is, I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a number of things I have to say, because if you're listening to this conversation, you might feel like, wow, this album is serious and it's commentary. You can listen to it on that level where you just want to
yes, sir,
vibe to a nice beat, and it's got that. But then if you listen closely, things will come up, which is a sign of profound art. You know, the more you listen, the more you hear and the more you see.
Yeah.
But the nice thing I think you're doing with Parasiti, the word para, you're taking like the forgotten people and bringing them into our consciousness and being like, no, this is actually, might be the best of us, actually.
Yeah.
And like you talk about safety and crime, but you also take us into like a perspective where you're almost inhabiting the world of someone who might be committing crime in South Africa, but you almost now sympathizing with, well, but what else am I supposed to do in a society that's forgotten me? And I have to put food, on the table somehow. Like, what do we expect people who in the society have been given nothing to do when there are no options for them going forward? And you help us to inhabit that mind state. Instead of demonizing, you're actually making us see, but what would you do if you were in that situation?
Yes, sir. And also, like, my biggest gripe about the lawlessness, I guess, of our country is for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So why?
Yeah.
So why should I walk on a tightrope?
Yeah. Yeah. So profound, because we see every day that powerful and rich people can do much worse, and almost like throw it in our faces that they can get away with it.
That is just the one part to me, that I just feel so much for, like, I mean, over the years, I mean, I was less educated, I guess. It was easy for me to just open a window while I'm driving and just like throw a piece of gum out the window in the middle of the road. Right? And then you realize after a while, once you become a business owner, once you become a property owner,
Sure.
actually, I'm actually devaluing the very neighborhood that I've invested in. And I'm expecting my kids to grow up in the same where I'm also littering. You know what I mean? So as much as I don't with all my personal experiences, like, in the years growing up and maturing, I get to also just now appreciate little things like that. And also to try and pass it on to the next person, whether it's my nephew or whatnot, to say, hey, but no need for you to do that. There's no need for you to go to the club, get drunk, get behind the wheel, make your way home. You are gambling with your life. It's irresponsible. As much as cool, it's just a couple of drinks. But what if you're going to find yourself dealing with a super cop?
Sure.
As you leave that club. And then you have to take your kids to school in the morning, but you're going to have to spend a couple of hours in a cell. It's irresponsible. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just all these little things. And as much as they to us, at times they sound corny and cheesy, or like, bro, life is not that serious, boom,
Yeah.
But like, yes, life is not that serious if you are avoiding bad decisions. If you know the turns to avoid,
Sure.
you can still live a very fun life.
And in fact, it's probably more sustainable as well. Like you can have fun for longer and more.
Yes, sir.
So one thing I wanted to pick your brain on,
Yes, sir.
as we think about the state of the country and also, the themes of your album, is the lawlessness and the way we're losing so many celebrities, rappers, and the way in some ways it's connected to that lawlessness. Either because like you wonder or you worry, are people being targeted? Almost like, because it's like a message to be like, we can come for whoever we want.
Yeah.
Or because like even these very high profile cases, like you don't see progress and you don't see people, apprehended for years and years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to pick your brain on that.
I think just from the police and just the legal institution of our country, I think it's almost kind of like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
When people who end up being assassinated, like high profile individuals like that, and there are no repercussions, and you know what I mean? It just goes to show how maybe just the loopholes. I'm just trying to tread carefully, in my words.
Sure.
The loopholes in our society.
Yeah.
And within those institutions as well. Because it sets a very bad precedent on the citizens as a whole. To say, if they are able to brutally terminate one of my idols, and there are no consequences, then what would happen to me as a Tepo in Deep Kloof?
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just fundamentally, just thinking about that is absolutely just like spine chilling, you know? I also I can't necessarily look at it also like just one-dimensional as well, because some of the individuals that we know and that we've come across, or people that have come across our timelines or whatever, that we have heard tragic stories about, yes, a lot of them are victims, but they are also individuals who are unfortunately fall victim to their own decision making.
Sure.
Unscrupulous decision making. And as much as we might want to run away from that. That actually does exist. There are people within our society, famous or not, who, in them, again, walking down the path of thinking there are no consequences. Sometimes your retribution is not the law.
Yeah.
It may come in the form of the devil, it may come in the form of an enemy, an XYZ. So, and I'm not speaking about one particular individual.
Sure.
But I'm just basically just trying to say we also just need to shield ourselves. I think actually priority number one right now, given the state of affairs in our legal system and within the police system, the number one protector, yes, cool, God, the Almighty. Number two is the individual himself. Look out for yourself, protect yourself, shield yourself first by making sure that you avoid making the wrong turn in this life.
Sure.
Because when the reaper comes, your community, your family and community at large is gonna blame the police, of course, but you might find that it also had to do with your own personal missteps. So I think we find ourselves in a society that now says, hey man, I was actually talking about, sorry to swear a little bit, I had a conversation with an industry friend, and we were talking, there's a particular song called, actually I don't want to give it away. So there was a subject matter, right, we're talking about, and she mentioned the fact that why do men have to tell women what to do or how to conduct their lives? I'm bringing that about because forget the subject about women and men. I'm just talking about humans as a whole, right? If someone can actually, even if they're not your dad, right? If the spirit wants to send a message to Sizwe, and it comes in the form of me in passing, saying, hey, bud, I think you don't want to park there because that's not secure parking. There are paras there, type of thing.
Sure.
Your car might get broken into, right?
Yeah.
I should not be frowned upon in my attempt to advise, to say, hey, don't do that.
Sure.
Because you might fall victim, right? So with me saying people need to make better choices and better decisions in what they do in this life thing, is purely me saying sometimes you need to heed. We are not action figures, bro, that we can just live this villainous life and go out there and do any and everything and expect nothing to happen to us.
Yeah.
As much as the system is broken, but karmic retribution sometimes comes through different elements. So yeah, that's all I can say, you know.
Sure.
And it saddens me again that we are being led down by our police and the legal system, but that need to conscientize all of us to say, hey, actually, maybe it's just better not to do dumb stuff.
Yeah, yeah. On AKA, you work together a lot. I mean, was it God's will?
Yeah,
I mean,
that was the first collab me and Dog and him
classic,
actually was
classic.
on,
And I mean, obviously Ran Josie,
yes, sir.
he was there, and the Karakara visuals at least. And I heard that there was like even an album that he was thinking of doing with you. Yeah, how do you reflect on your musical relationship? Because the two of you shaped hip hop and music at a similar time and in very profound ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know the man, you knew him before me, and he's I think also probably with when you guys were in the group, you probably saw a more tamed,
very much so,
version of him.
We always used to fight because I'd try to tame him and he wanted to be more wild, and it was like a constant toing and froing.
Yeah. So, and then obviously once he burst out to becoming the individual that he became, you know, he was larger than life.
Yeah,
and
that's for sure.
So when you are in his presence, when you are creating with him, you are not just creating with just another artist. Like, whether you like it or not, you need to understand that you are dealing with someone that knows what they came to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're going to execute it to the T.
Sure. And feel strongly about whichever direction.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And they might actually even take the spotlight while they're doing it.
Yeah. That might well be their aim. Yeah.
You feel me? So, by way of that, so it's like Ronaldo, Messi. Ronaldo might, in the previous game, playing against Atletico Madrid or whatever, might be playing a certain way. And then when they meet against Barca at the time, you're seeing a different Messi and you're seeing a different Ronaldo. Naturally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's just how and this is not just me painting a picture. That's what he would call me about. He's like, oh, you make me uncomfortable. Whenever I see you do this, and I'm thinking, damn.
Yeah.
I need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the while, that's exactly what I'm doing also on my end.
Sure.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And selfishly, that is what I miss, bro. That is just what I miss, because when you have, we hardly talk about what Ronaldo's doing in freaking Saudi.
Yeah, sure.
Because he's hardly gonna meet Messi, right? So by default, I use a lot of sports analogies and just like how I look at things. I also follow tennis. I remember mentioning to the guys, like, they big Djokovic fans, and then boom, Federer retires, and then Nadal in his twilight years, and at this time, Djoko is busting their asses, right? And then I'm like, probably by the time Nadal retires, I think the fire might come down on Djoko. Not because he's not great no more, but the guys that actually set the bar, the guys that made him who he wanted to be, are those two guys. So when those guys are not there anymore, and then you have like an Alcatraz who any other day will snatch a win from a Joko. It's not happening because Joko is no longer great.
Sure.
But the fire,
Yeah.
the knowing that you beat the guys, the guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to me today, and I think this album to me, I had to use my own self because for the first time, I wasn't pulling from where I normally pull from. And I'm pulling from Cass or pulling from Keenan and just the general landscape, right?
Yeah.
I had to, for the very first time, be like, bro, you've done some incredible stuff. Maybe that's the guy that you need to compete with. And that's how I found myself landing with, on this product. So I'm saying all that to say, I appreciated the fact that he, amongst other guys, brought that out of me, that fighting spirit, to always want to be better and be greater. And because iron sharpens iron, bro.
Yeah.
And right now, I guess I'm just using stone. You know what I mean? To stay sharp.
When you say that, I feel like you're like almost the last man standing. Like,
respectfully, I don't think that's the case. I mean, because Cass is still going crazy. Nasty still doing his thing.
Sure. Let's say from that generation.
Oh yeah, from my class.
Yeah.
Also respectfully,
Sure.
I guess you can say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it goes beyond one doing things for the sake of doing it, or just because they can, or because there's bills to be paid. Like, my purpose now is no longer any of those things. My purpose is now like, I just want to set an example to the people that are behind me. I want to defy the odds. I want to defy age. I want to defy gravity. And just do anything that I want to do, because I always believe that we are all on God's time. We are not on no man's time.
So true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in our space, especially with hip hop, there's a lot of ageism that goes on compared to other genres. You look at like K.O still touring to this day, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
The Beatles or whatever. Or,
you know what I
mean?
Yeah.
But in hip hop, people will put the age thing to it, which is just like,
if you're not like 23, then you're old.
It's pretty, it's just weird,
Sure.
But yeah, like, to me, I just want to be the contrarian, because that's how I actually grew up. Like, the person that I became was because I ended up becoming a contrarian when everyone was going that way. I was like, I want to actually explore I'm going to take the scenic route, because who knows what's over there.
I feel like you're doing this with this album as well. When like Amapiano sounds are, you've almost gone back to like the original hip hop beat, there's a lot of rap again in this. You've gone back to 90s, 2000 nostalgic feelings, when everyone is doing like a different thing sonically.
Yeah. That was all on purpose. That was all on purpose. Even downright to just sitting there listening to like the Mace album.
Wow.
I might have not appreciated it back then.
Yeah.
Because, there was cannabis, or there was all these other like, you know, local wizards that we were enticed by, but like now I actually even appreciate it more.
Sure.
I know Diddy's going through what he's going through, but
that era,
I'm like, bro,
that era was special.
No way that man actually like had that ear to change hip hop from what it was. That raw, ruggedy thing that was going on, and then boom, Bad Boy comes, and they literally launched swag rap. It's lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So even with this album, as much as I'm talking about all these other things, I obviously, if I'm gonna entertain you, I actually also need to do it down to the T.
For sure.
I can't sell none of these feelings short. Even when I make a love song, I need to execute it to the T. I can't take the foot off the pedal on any of the subject matters on the album. And then that is essentially what I, to my very own credit, I think I did that really well on this album. And just time will tell how it'll age.
One thing I'm interested in, you're a triple threat, right? You write.
Yes, sir.
You perform.
Yes, sir.
And produce.
Yes, sir.
And for people watching, I just don't like, you don't know how hard each of those things can be,
bro.
You know? So I'm so fascinated in your process. Like, how do you build, let's just say, a song? You know, and how has it evolved over time? Do you have like a way that you do it now where you start with one part and you build on it? Is it different? And, you know, what does it take to write, produce, and perform at the highest level for so long?
When we first started as Tear Gas, we didn't have all the resources and things like that. I remember we reached out to Infa because he was making Squatter Kim. He was making beats at Squatter. Reached out to him and we're like, yo, so Mfana, like, we're working on an album. We need a beat from you. And did we end up getting on the debut album? I need to double check. I think we did, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway. But I remember like reaching out to the guys that were like Omen at the time, like, yo,
Omen was
you feel me?
Back then, like,
And then the gents are talking about 5,000 a pop. I'm like, oh my goodness. That was obviously impossible for us. So we decided to go buy a little computer. And actually in Dugza, because he had a 9-to-5 at the time, and then he went and he bought a little PC thing, and then we were able to solicit, you know, some of the software and whatnot in the hood out there. Next thing you know, we sitting there putting beats together on our own.
Wow. We're using Fruity
FL,
Loops at the time.
FL.
Everyone,
you know what I mean?
FL,
to this day, actually, So
piano roll.
Yes, sir. My dog. So that's how we found ourselves becoming producers and writers at the same time.
Just pure necessity.
It was a means.
Sure.
You know what I mean? To bypass the financial hurdles. So I still took that with me over the years, even though I think after the Tear Gas album, the last one that we did, Number, I started linking up with my guy, Lunatic, who produced majority of this album.
Sure. Shout out to him.
Yes, sir.
Very well produced album, and the sound engineering as well is proper.
Shout outs to Neil T for the sound engineering and the mixing and everything else in the master. So my role when I had to now become a solo artist, when I was working on my first album, when we made Karakara and everything else, my role, I wanted to now start playing more towards my strengths and stuff.
Interesting.
Making sure that I come up with the right concepts and writing and then executing it to the T and everything else. So when Lunatic comes in, I now allowed him to lead the constructive process of creating a beat.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm still there.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Not that bass line, not those kicks.
Sure.
I'm thinking a melody like this. And
But you don't have to like sit and program the drums.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Sure.
You know, that was a huge relief on my side.
Nice,
because
nice.
now it allowed me again to focus on
Yeah.
some of the things that I actually needed to work, that needed more of my attention.
Sure.
Right. And that also allowed me to now have the opportunity to churn out music a little quicker. Because even to this day, as much as I'm involved in every single beat that we cook up, it's not as taxing as it used to be when I had to sit there and program myself and write and make sure that it's mixed properly in the master, you know? So I sort of kind of skipped, I'm starting to skip that step.
Interesting.
And then, but I'm still heavily involved in, all right, cool, I'm going to sit with the engineer now, make my vocal sound like this.
Wow.
Let's mix this thing. The kick sounds soft. You know what I mean? Now the nitty gritties. And then, this song doesn't sound, is not as banging as maybe a Drake song. Listen to how the hats are sitting on this.
Sure.
And then, you know what I mean? Like even level wise.
Yeah.
Because just little geeky things like that, people don't even think about. The fact that, like, especially now in the streaming era, there's playlists, right? A Drake song, you find yourself in the same playlist as Drake and Kendrick and all these other guys, right? And then boom, here's your song in the middle of that. So a song comes from Drake to Future to Nasty C to Kendrick to K.O. That needs to feel seamless. Because as soon as people get to your song, and it sounds soft, and the vocal quality is not as good as the other one, naturally, I'm hitting skip.
Sure. Interesting.
So people don't understand just that little thing in consumer behavior, because the average listener is not even savvy enough to know all these things that I'm mentioning. All they know is, I don't like this song. They can't actually dissect
Exactly.
what it is. But I don't like this. I like that. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of artists lose the battle. So
Interesting.
now you dealing with someone like myself who has done a lot of genre hopping. When you are an artist that is solely in a certain genre, right? Whether it's just gospel or amapiano or like Afrobeats, and your music lands on an Afrobeats playlist or an amapiano, like a genre specific playlist. And then everyone, I mean, especially amapiano, like it's just free flowing, bro. Like they're not as pedantic, you know, in the production production level. So it could go literally from a song that is just badly mixed to one that is like recorded in like $1 million studio.
Sure.
And no one cares. It's like, hey, it's jamming still, right? But unlike in hip hop, a song can be so big that a karakara will land in a Afrobeats playlist.
Sure.
It'll land in a dance playlist. So when you appear in these on all these platforms, or if we're talking like a top 50, one of these top 50 stations, when they come from playing a Sabrina Carpenter record, going to a K.O song, it still needs to be seamless. You understand me? So it's just all these things, bro, that I pull from when I'm creating.
That's fascinating, man. And people have no idea like how much attention to detail gets paid, not only to be relevant now, but like over a long period. What about the writing? I mean, again, on this album, like you're channeling different voices, you're channeling different tones in the delivery. Like there's Park, and then I'm like this Park moment. I'm like, exactly.
And then all the other things. Yeah, bro.
How does the writing happen for you? Is it just like a thing where inspiration comes and or is it very like structured?
I think it's mostly structured because I know what I need to do at a certain point in a record, right? There's some do there as well. Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
So when I know exactly that, okay, cool, this part here, I need to do something special. What can I do over there? I think I could actually channel some Park over the next 4 bars because the energy is allowing for that to happen.
Yeah.
You know? So you need to almost kind of be an architect instead of just doing whatever that you want to do on a song. Yes, cool. Sometimes I do that, like where I just walk into the studio, I don't even know what I'm going to say. And then I've come across a beat and then I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, let me lay this one line down. And then it just becomes the canvas upon which I just like paint, just let the brush flow. You feel me?
Wow.
From all the way to the end of the song. But a lot of the times, especially with this album, I think this album here is probably my most cohesive because I was trying, I was making a conscious effort to come up with something, I guess, conceptual, a conceptual album.
Yeah.
You know? And so with that being said, I know what the timeline was looking like, and then I just needed to fill each gap to say, okay, cool, for this moment in a story like this, this needs to happen, that needs to happen. So when you're an architect as a creator, whether it's you being a TikToker or whatever, YouTuber, that's how you need to approach a lot of the stuff that you actually do, because there's an end point, you know. And then when you need to pivot and do something different, you know when it's done. Unlike when you actually just find yourself just like doing and you don't even know what's the start point and the end point of your chapter as your story as an individual or as a communicator. That's what I was trying to achieve.
Final, just rapper to rapper geeking out here. Like, do you use pen and paper? Do you use your phone? Like, do you write? Do you not? Like,
on this album, actually, I did less writing. The craziest thing is this. This is probably the easiest album I've ever made.
I can believe that because you knew the whole story.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the easiest because I was like, okay, cool. I need a beat that makes me feel like it's early 2000. And then boom, we cook it up with Luna.
Yeah.
And then I already know what I need to do over there. Right? So in terms of like the writing, shout outs to Neil again, Neil T. Him allowing me to, there was a lot of trial and error, right?
Okay.
Like,
Interesting.
go switch the mic on. Cool. All right, cool. Let me lay these 2 bars. And then I do a whole 16 and I'm like, nah, scrap that. Let me start a whole new verse.
Interesting.
You know?
Very
And then now I actually like where this is going now. And then,
Yeah.
because you also need it, just like you, bro. You need a producer or a DOP that knows when you're in your bag.
Sure.
You feel me? And when I mean, who knows? Like at the end of this episode, when he starts cutting it up, and he's like, I don't think this is the best episode that you've done. You know what I mean? Like you need someone who can be frank and tell you things like that. Because when you go to the next one, he's already set the tone.
Sure.
For you to actually be better than what you did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that goes with everything that I do, whether it's me with the engineer or like even live on stage, even when we're making songs and, you know, and I shared with Tulu and them, you know, I'm not just creating in the dark and then putting it out there in the world.
Yeah.
And then hoping it lands. It goes through all these stages. It's whether I'm recording with the engineer and he's like, I don't know, I'm not really feeling this one. You know? Oh, damn. Okay, let me not waste time.
Yeah.
Let me move on to the, or maybe let's end the session.
Sure.
Maybe tomorrow I'll come up with something better.
That's really interesting, man, because like I feel like there's this idea, especially within hip hop, that like the first idea is the best idea and there's not enough editing or self-reflection. And what you're saying is like, not only are you reflecting on.
Okay, yeah. So shout out fam, shout out to everyone that tuned in. If you tuned in today, I want y'all to know that tomorrow we're going to be having another live to react to Prince Mashele's comments about Mkhwanazi and about Cyril Ramaphosa. So yeah, if you tuned in today, just stick with us, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, tell us that you're going to tune in tomorrow, and yeah, let's keep it going from there. Shout out to all of y'all, fam. I mean, yeah, I love y'all and we should keep this going. Let's go.